Hello, welcome back. I'm the Narc Abuse Recovery Babe, and tonight I'm going to talk about family dynamics growing up your what is called the family of origin and how that can correlate over to the relationships that you get into as an adult. So briefly, I had a 17-year marriage, 20-ish year relationship with someone that I had known prior to that 15 years. So someone that I knew and I trusted who turned out I did not know them at all. But throughout the relationship, I was tried to be a most excellent wife and ended up completely better now that I'm out, but was not treated well at all. So post discard phase, which is when the relationship ends, I received counseling and read a lot of books and listened to a lot of online counseling, which I highly recommend everybody do. First of all, I was like so confused during the discard phase, which if you have already gone through that, if you were in a relationship like that, I mean, that is the biggest part of all was just all the confusion. I mean, I was the last one to know exactly what was going on. And it's because when you're in a relationship like that, there's so much deceit. There's so much just tearing you down and breaking you down. I cannot stand when I hear, oh, the wife looked the other way. If you're in a relationship and you're being lied to, you are not looking the other way. You're being lied to. Okay. So I'm just going to put that out there. I was in a terrible relationship that thought it was all sunny and flowers and roses. So I had no idea what my partner was doing. And so anytime I hear like, oh, they broke up, but she looked the other way, I call a giant BS. All right. I'm just going to validate all the people out there who left a relationship completely confused. Okay. The first book I was given was this one. Hold on. Well, it might be flipped, but Boundaries. And at first I was like, I don't need this boundary book. Why am I getting this boundary book? First thing that I learned was I was a complete would bend over backwards for anybody. And that ties into the next big thing. The big light bulb that went off for me was in I was a client of a local domestic violence center. And that one-on-one counseling, my counselor asked me about my growing up and my childhood and my family of origin. And that led to me reading Adult Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers. So, which I would have never in a cajillion years ever thought that I grew up in a dysfunctional family. Shocker, I did. There was nothing functioning about it. But my point being, if you look at your family of origin, the way that I was raised was I was triangulated from my siblings. Nothing I ever did was right. I kind of bounced between the scapegoated child, which I was in that area a lot, and also the caretaking child. I was in that area a lot. Bounced back and forth, but my relationships with my siblings was just completely, it was something that I wanted, and it was just torn apart from even, I think, before I was born. If you are wondering, how did I get here? Look at your family of origin. Look at your siblings. Do you speak to your siblings? Are you invited to family events? You could be that one person in your family that is isolated away from everybody, and that role is called the scapegoated child. There are other family roles in the family system. There's the caretaker, that child is heavily burdened. There's the golden child, and which might sound like a walk in the park, but there is actually a lot of emotional turmoil that goes around being the golden child. But bottom line, I was raised in a family that my mother especially was super Christian, didn't know wrong, virgin when she got married, did not drink, went to church all the time, and we are expected to be all those things too. So we just, and it went beyond just my small family unit into the extended family of all of her siblings and all of their kids. That was just how you're supposed to be. I am a Christian, so I need to say that up front. But at the same time, I grew up not being able to be who I was. If I expressed myself or was interested in something or tried to, really just be who I was, it was sort of like I was pounced on by my mom, and to this day. So that I was constantly people pleasing. I was trying to make peace in the family and constantly apologizing. And now that I've learned everything that I've learned, I can look back on my childhood and past my childhood into my adult life and see how there was a system set up. So why does it matter if you were raised in a narcissistic family system? It matters because the way that you were raised influenced how you see quote unquote normal relationships. And if you were mistreated as a child, if you didn't get your needs met, if you were rejected, blamed, and shamed, a lot of that will carry over into your adult life. Look and see if you have a relationship with your siblings. Look and see if you have a parent that demands all the attention all the time, or if they think that they're superior and they punish you by withdrawing attention or talking about you behind your back. If you're not exactly who they want you to be, then that is a huge sign of narcissistic family dynamics. So how does that impact you? Chances are you're a people pleaser. You learned how to do and say the right thing to just make peace, make everybody happy. Adult signs are constantly apologizing, giving other people what they need before looking after your own self. You also don't have any boundaries. You don't do activities that you enjoy. You wrap yourself around what your partner wants to do. That is called being enmeshed with them. Learn about that. And, but yeah, the impact of growing up in a narcissistic family, that feeling rejected, blamed, and shamed makes you completely fall for a narcissist with their love bombing. And they fall for you because you're vulnerable, you're a people pleaser, you work hard, you will do anything for that relationship. And so they lock you in and then they totally treat you like garbage. It's really bad. But you're out, or you're hoping to get out, or you're going to be out soon. So the best way to get over all of this is to keep learning. Follow me on the Narc Abuse Recovery Babe. And the more you learn, the better you feel, the faster you heal. Remember, it was not your fault, and you are such a babe.